Welcome to Empowering Women, Transforming Lives with Rebecca Hall-Gruyter. In our program each week, we provide the tools, ideas, and encouragement to help you move ahead on your journey, becoming a more powerful and impactful woman in your own life. Now here's your host, Rebecca Hall-Gruyter.
Welcome, everyone. I hope that you're having an amazing day. It is March. I'm just amazed how quickly the year is going already. And in March, we like to look at how do we spring forward? How do we keep that forward momentum going that we started with at the beginning of the year? I feel like a lot of times we're excited at the beginning of the year. We have great vision and plans and all kinds of things that we're wanting to do or be or bring forward. And sometimes when we get to March, we are back to some of our old patterns or maybe have lost sight of some of what we were trying to bring forward. So it's a great time to take a breath, feel in, and see where we're at. As we are coming to the end of the first quarter of the year, are we on track for bringing forward those things that matter to us? Because the decisions we make, how we choose to be, what we say yes to, what we say no to, how we spend our time every day adds up to every week, adds up to every month, adds up to our year. So how are we choosing to keep all of that on track? And today we have two amazing experts that are going to really support us in how to spring forward to keep that momentum going in life and in our finances, that we can really get support in these powerful ways to help us not only stay on track, but I'm hoping we can be abundant above our goals and all that we are looking to be and to achieve, that we can really embrace life fully, do those things that matter to us, be who and how we want to be, choose to say yes to those things that matter to us, and take those things off the plate that no longer serve. So I'm excited for our conversation today. I'm thrilled and honored to have each and every one of you joining us. And I want to invite you to slow down for a moment. We can move so fast. Take a breath in through the nose, through the mouth. That can be so powerful. I want to encourage you to choose to be present, meaning choose to really be mindfully, purposely, fully here. This is your time, your moment. I claim it for you, not for anyone else, not for any of those to-do things that can pull at us, not for multitasking, but this is your time. Allow us to come together fully, purposely, mindfully, to pour into you, to where you are overflowing because you're so full and excited to ripple that and you out into the world because you're coming from a place of fullness, not from a place of being pulled too many directions. Wonderful. So as we do that, and we're taking those beautiful breaths, slowing down, bringing in that beautiful air, keep breathing. I invite you to close your eyes. So close your eyes. Take a deep breath. That is beautiful. Put your hands on your heart. Wonderful. And as we do that, I want you to take a moment and check in with you. See, what is it that you need today? As we look at springing forward, as we look at stepping into those things that matter so much to each of us, being who we want to be and how we want to be. Breathing that in, just feel in with curiosity. What is it that you need today? What is it that will encourage you, empower you, support you in springing forward? What do you need today? Real time, not someday, but right now. What is it you need? That you are willing to receive because you absolutely have choice. Beautiful. What is it that you need and are willing to receive? No worries about the how. Really, what do I need? Let's be curious and listen and receive. It can come in a memory, an image, a feeling, a scent, a reminder, a sound. Beautiful. Use all your senses. Let's receive that information. Take a deep breath in through your nose. All the way to your toes. Wiggle your toes. Make sure they're getting all of that beautiful air. And then out, like through a straw. Open your eyes, fully present. I invite you to take a moment and write down what was laid on your heart. Let's start co-creating it right now, real time. What is it you need, you've identified, and are willing to receive? Let's keep that top of mind during our conversation today, because there's a reason you connected in today. It's not by chance. There's a reason, there's a purpose. That means there's something here for you. And I want you open and ready to receive whatever it is to help you with what you need to help shift things forward in a powerful and dynamic way. In fact, I hope that you're surprised or expanded, or there's something that clicks today in a way you never thought of before, that helps, that supports, that shifts things forward in a way that you just never saw coming. That is my intention and wish for you today. Beautiful. With that, we're going to go around our virtual room and have each of our guests share just for a moment what was on their heart, what came forward as they took a moment to stop, pause, and listen. With that, Sam, I'd love for you to share what was laid on your heart.
It's interesting, isn't it, where your mind goes? But freedom, financial freedom, and no worries about the future of your finances and anything that you've committed to or that you want to commit to. So freedom really was the word, I think, that was
beautiful. I breathe that in. Celebrate that. I love that. That's great.
Yeah,
freedom now and into the future. Just beautiful. Yeah, very nice. Wonderful.
Thank you.
Absolutely. Thank you. How about you, Mary? What did you feel or what came forward for you?
I love what Sam said. I love that idea of freedom. But for freedom that came up for me was in identity and knowing who I am to move forward and really knowing where that's grounded and just sort of this overwhelming peace and freedom and just that authenticity and moving forward in that, really, really owning that truth.
Oh, beautiful. I love that. Thank you. Really, truly, authentically knowing who we are and having peace in that and strength in that. That's just so powerful and so key. Both of these, having freedom in that and that peace, that certainty in it, are so important for us to spring forward. Thank you for sharing. Beautiful. And listeners, I'm curious, what about you? What was laid on your heart? Did some of what Sam and Mary have shared, has that touched your heart, spirit, added to that as you're exploring freedom or perhaps what is weighing on your heart and your spirit, what you're looking for support in? As we go to our first commercial break here, I want to invite you to stay present. As those commercials are playing in the background with updates and information we want you to be aware of, choose to be present. Choose to really listen, see what is speaking to your heart, to your spirit. Take these 2 minutes for you. And we will continue our conversation in just a couple moments.
Become our friend on Facebook. Post your thoughts about our shows and network on our timeline. Visit facebook.com/Voice America.
Announcing a powerful new TV channel featuring programs designed to enhance and transform your life. Make powerful connections, one program at a time. And by doing so, we can bring transformation to the world. Tune in each week to Empowered Connections TV as we add new programs to help you make empowered connections of your own. Visit empoweredconnectionstv.com. That's empoweredconnectionstv.com. And make the most of an incredible life transformation.
Voice America programs are now available on your favorite connected device, including Amazon, Alexa, and Google Home. Through streams with Apple Podcasts, TuneIn, and iHeartRadio, listening to your favorite show is as easy as saying the show name followed by the word podcast.
Hey, Alexa, play Finding Your Frequency podcast.
If that doesn't work, try adding on TuneIn or on iHeartRadio or on Apple Podcasts.
Rebecca Hall Gruyter's Speaker Talent Search is looking for speakers wanting to get on more stages. With just one audition, you could open the doors to hundreds of speaking opportunities, reach more people, and expand your impact. Finalists get to audition live in front of leaders looking to fill all kinds of speaking opportunities. Apply now at SpeakerTalentSearch.com. That's SpeakerTalentSearch.com. We look forward to hearing your message.
It's your world. Motivate, change, succeed. VoiceAmericaEmpowerment.com.
You can like and comment on the Voice America Empowerment Channel Facebook page. This is the place to get and share advice from some of the best leaders on the planet. Get started today by searching for Voice America Empowerment or click the like button under the player today.
You're listening to Empowering Women, Transforming Lives with your host, Rebecca Hall Gruyter. If you have a question or comment for Rebecca or her guest, we'd love to hear from you. Please call into the program at 1-888-346-9141. That's 1-888-346-9141. You may also send an email to Rebecca at yourpurposedrivenpractice.com. Now back to Empowering Women, Transforming Lives.
Welcome back, everyone. I hope that you're enjoyed that time. It's amazing how different we can feel when we just take 2 minutes for ourselves. Even our perspective can change, our energy shifts. I have found it so profound in my life when I have remembered to pause. When I have chosen to use those moments, sometimes things we think of as disruptions, like a long red light that we're in, an unexpected line, when I instead look at that, oh, here's a reminder, here's a moment for me to breathe. I get to be present. And I find my day flows so much more powerfully. I get to be more of who I am, who I want to be, who I choose to be, versus letting the day run me. So I invite you, as we go through our time together today, use these 2-minute moments, the commercial moments. We built them into the show on purpose for you, to support you, to give you time to breathe, to process, to integrate, to hear what's being shared, to hear what that sparks within you. So give yourself that time. Enjoy those moments. So glad that you're here. We are excited to continue our conversations. We're talking about springing forward in life and finances. How can we do that? And I'm really honored to introduce our first amazing guest, Mary. You got to hear from her a little bit in the opening segment. So Mary Holmström is a passionate speaker, philanthropist, coach, entrepreneur, author, and organization strategist. Her academic and professional background include linguistics, broadcast journalism, and the performing arts, including having an opportunity to support C-level suite executives as a strategist. She is passionate about helping women of faith live in their truest, most authentic selves and really claiming that abundant life that is available to them. Please lean in. Warmly welcome the powerful, dynamic, and heart-centered Mary Holmström to the show. Welcome.
Thank you, Rebecca. What a great introduction. Thank you.
You are so welcome. Thrilled to have you joining us. I had my hand raised up as you take our virtual stage, and just look forward to all that you have to share with us today. And I wanted to start our conversation with why. Why is this work of helping people in this way in a life coach capacity, bringing all of your skills and talents to support them on their journey, why is that personally so important to you?
That is a good question. Well, I became the coach that I was looking for a couple of years ago. Well, more than a couple of years ago, probably like 3 years ago now. Mm-hmm. And I had juggled 2 careers my whole life, and had loved what I did. I was an actor. I'm a professional actor, and supported myself working in the C-suite, supporting C-level executives. That was my money job. But at some point, my dream got really, it just went in a different direction. And my professional life, my money job, took on a life of its own. And that's when I decided to get a coach and start working through some things. I tried a lot of other things, but getting a coach was a unique experience that I stumbled on, and that really helped me reshape a dream. And I had an epiphany, and it really came to fruition, and the rest is history.
I love that. And I love that now you've become that and are now helping others with those shifts and realignments, which can make such a powerful difference in their life. So I'm curious, in the work that you have done in this area, and perhaps you experienced some of this yourself or some of those that you're working with, are there roadblocks that you see can limit how we spring forward, how we move forward? And how do we overcome those? What are some tips?
Yeah, that is such a great question. And I love how you phrase that, because so often we think in terms of how can we move forward? How can we just keep moving forward? And sometimes the question is, what can hold us back from moving forward, right? So we look at it through a little bit different of a lens. When I work with my clients, there's a lot of different roadblocks, right? But there are 3 that often come up. When you start a new dream, the one thing that can really hold you back as a roadblock could be lack of discipline in your craft. If you're not investing in yourself and learning more about your craft and what the lane that you're in, that can really create a roadblock for yourself. Another thing is, lack of keeping abreast of your industry trends to foster that competitive edge, right? That really complements the craft. So if you're not reading your trades, if you're not, are you on LinkedIn? Are you invested in what it is that you're doing to move yourself forward, and also to see it in the peripherals, what's going on around you? So that self-awareness that you talked about. And the third thing that I would say that a lot of people don't really give a lot of attention to, but what always comes up, is envy. If you're in your lane, if you've got your dream, but you start looking and comparing yourself to other people around you, that's going to provide a really huge roadblock for you, because that fosters a mindset of jealousy and doubt and feeling less valuable and worthy or deserving in your field. And that is going in the wrong direction.
Thank you for sharing. I think these are really great things to be aware of and pay attention. And I'm curious, as we've identified some of the top roadblocks you see that can interfere, stop, slow down, where we're trying to go, what we're trying to do. Do you have a tip or a suggestion around each? I'm thinking particularly that comparing ourselves to others, because I think that's something that can be very common, and we're trying to learn, and sometimes we cross over and get compare ourselves in an unhealthy way. So where are we crossing that line, and how can we avoid that or bring ourselves back to a good alignment with being aware but not falling into that envy space?
Right. Oh, that's such a great question. For me and the work that I do and the work that I've done in myself, it always comes back to my identity. I think that's why that came up for me when you were doing that wonderful grounding in our first segment. Who am I? We often self-sabotage. Envy is a way of self-sabotaging ourselves in a space. We're looking at in our rearview mirror, so to speak. We're seeing what was behind us, and so our historical experience starts dictating how we move forward in that dream. And so that can feed into self-sabotage. So if I know who I am, it's like I have this grounding in what my identity is, which is really taking stock of my personal currency, my self-worth, which also gets you out on a platform of confidence, right? When you know who you are moving forward, it's okay that everybody else is different. It takes a lot of different body parts, right, to make up one body. And you, the listener, we all have a very special footprint. We have a footprint, a fingerprint that is unique to us. So if we stay focused on what it is that we do have, and we remain disciplined, and we are aware of what's going on around us, so we have that competitive edge, so we can serve others better, that comparison stuff really falls to the wayside, because now it's just about you focusing on your identity and what you can bring to the table that's going to serve others. It also serves you, but in a larger capacity, it serves those other people. And that's the team that everybody wants to be a part of.
Beautiful. Thank you for sharing. I appreciate that and how important that grounding in who we truly are and what we truly bring to the table and what our gifts are and who we are, rather than trying to focus so much on who we're not or what we're not. Really focusing on who we are. Oh, love it, love it. And some of what can help us, because I've learned life is not a solo journey. It's a myth that got started somewhere. It's just not true. We do not have to do it on our own. That a life coach can be really powerful as someone that can come alongside and support us, like a life coach supported you and you do to so many others. But this might be a new term for some of our listeners. So I was curious if you could explain what a life coach is and how can someone in that capacity, in that role, really help us move forward in powerful ways and in alignment with who we are.
Yes. Well, a coach's role is really as a client's partner in a treasure hunt. That's really how I look at it with my clients. I mean, I'm not the one who's figuring out the solutions to your challenges or your fears or whatever you want to do. A coach's work is in the curiosity, and we build trust together to get curious together. So a coach listens to your story, but the thing is that they tell you back what you actually told them. So now lights start going off. Now we're off to the races into a deeper level of a conversation and awareness. And we can together start pulling back the layers with questions and using tools and whatnot. But really, it's in the deeper conversations. That's where you begin to find the treasure. And there are a lot of traditional modes of exploration through classes and vision boards, counseling. Now, counseling can be great, but it's important to note these because there is a distinction between them, and sometimes people lump them together. Counseling is really just someone who is, and there's a place for it, but that's somebody who's sharing their opinion and giving the client advice on how best to address something, not the client. But that doesn't make any sense because now you're just doing what someone else would do, but they aren't you. Therapy is a great lane for people to get in. I'm a huge proponent of therapy. And sometimes that's absolutely the better route. But that's usually when people get into a clinical state. You know, that's going from the point of dysfunction to function and going back and healing those in order to move forward. Mm-hmm. And again, there's a time and a space for that. But nothing gets to the core of the matter the way working with a coach, that kind of partnership can. The context is important, but it needs to serve the right now. And that's what a coach does. Beautiful. That's they dive into a deeper conversation with what's happening now, and that's how you move forward. So even when you leave that session, and I can give you an example of that, if that's helpful.
Yeah, give me just one, I want to explore one thing first, and then I'd love an example. So you mentioned, and thank you for your beautiful definition of what a life coach is and kind of isn't, so people have some of that understanding. I'd love for you, with the example you're going to share, if you could also give us maybe a couple things to look for in looking for a life coach. So some things they may want to consider to find that right fit, and we'd love your example.
Great. Yes. Okay, so I'll give you an example first. I'm using myself as the example because that's always easiest. Our story is always the most powerful. So I went through lots of years of discovery trying to come to this point. And I wrote mission statements. I worked with mentors. I did The Artist Way in groups. I love Julia Cameron. I'm not getting a commission. I just love her book. I think all people should read it. I think it's an amazing, amazing book. I journaled. I researched. It wasn't really until I worked with a coach for about 3 months, that's all it took, to discover my current trajectory. So the coach starts in the present to move toward transformation now. And I needed that deeper conversation and space to peel back those layers and to really get to the core. And someone who, I needed somebody who didn't know my full backstory, but they were versed in being curious and asking me the right questions based on what my challenges were and how I was framing them. She wasn't invested in me personally, so there was no judgment. And I determined the direction of my agenda, but she always honored my agenda and kept it moving forward, focused in that direction. Not myopic, but focused. And that was a total gift. And her contribution literally played a massive role in changing the entire trajectory of my life. And I'm so grateful to pass that forward, to pay that forward now. But to your other question, what are you looking for in a coach? It is so important. We call them discovery calls. And I would encourage anybody who is looking for a life coach or they think they might even be flirting with this idea. I think everybody needs a life coach personally. Don't coach with a coach who doesn't have a coach. We all need coaches in life. If Michael Jordan and all these other people can have coaches, I think everybody can have a coach and really benefit from it. The chemistry is probably the number one, connector, right? You want to have chemistry with that other person. We want to have chemistry with our doctor, with our dentist, with the teachers that our kids are, in school with. We need to have the chemistry with that coach. It's also important that at the foundation, some of that credentialing is. There's a lot of people out there calling themselves coaches these days, and they're not coaches. Going to a weekend seminar and calling yourself an accredited coach is probably not the coach that you would necessarily want to be with. So we need to be kind of careful, just like, again, how we're looking for a doctor or for a tutor for our kids or, whatever that happens to be. So chemistry, credentialing, and there's a lot of different ways to kind of address a discovery call. I would just encourage people to dig right in, be transparent and honest, and see if that's going to be a good match for you. Because it always boils down to chemistry. I hate to keep going back. It's only 2 things that I'm telling people, but I like things in 3s, but that's 2 of them.
No worries. That's perfect. And the 3rd goes back to the 2nd. I love it. So thank you so much for sharing. I really appreciate you sharing some of your journey, how transformational it was, as well as giving us some insight to what a life coach does and is, and see what we may benefit from in having one, and some of the places to start and the 2 key things to look for to help us on that journey. I really appreciate it. And at the end of the show, listeners, we're going to make sure you know how to connect with Mary and perhaps have that discovery session if you're feeling that pull or want to dig in and go deeper. So we'll make sure you have that information. We are getting ready to go to our next commercial break. And as we do that, I encourage you to stay present and perhaps think about, wow, what would a life coach be helpful for me? What am I looking to do? Where am I looking for support? Some great thing. And how does it feel to realize you don't have to do it on your own? You can actually have support personalized to you on your journey. So enjoy these 2 minutes and we'll continue our conversation shortly.
Follow us on Twitter at VoiceAmericaTRN. Get the lowdown on guests, new shows, and your favorites. That's VoiceAmericaTRN.
Rebecca Hall Gruyter's Speaker Talent Search is looking for speakers wanting to get on more stages. With just one audition, you could open the doors to hundreds of speaking opportunities, reach more people, and expand your impact. Finalists get to audition live in front of leaders looking to fill all kinds of speaking opportunities. Apply now at speakertalentsearch.com. That's speakertalentsearch.com. We look forward to hearing your message.
Voice America programs are now available on your favorite connected device, including Amazon, Alexa, and Google Home. Through streams with Apple Podcasts, TuneIn, and iHeartRadio, listening to your favorite show is as easy as saying the show name followed by the word podcast.
Hey, Alexa, play Finding Your Frequency podcast.
If that doesn't work, try adding on TuneIn or on iHeartRadio or on Apple Podcasts.
Announcing a powerful new TV channel featuring programs designed to enhance and transform your life. Make powerful connections, one program at a time. And by doing so, we can bring transformation to the world. Tune in each week to Empowered Connections TV as we add new programs to help you make empowered connections of your own. Visit empoweredconnectionstv.com. That's empoweredconnectionstv.com. And make the most of an incredible life transformation.
You can like and comment on the Voice America Empowerment Channel Facebook page. This is the place to get and share advice from some of the best leaders on the planet. Get started today by searching for Voice America Empowerment or click the like button under the player today.
It's your world. Motivate, change, succeed. VoiceAmericaEmpowerment.com.
You're listening to Empowering Women, Transforming Lives with your host, Rebecca Hall Gruyter. If you have a question or comment for Rebecca or her guest, we'd love to hear from you. Please call into the program at 1-888-346-9141. That's 1-888-346-9141. You may also send an email to Rebecca at yourpurposedrivenpractice.com. Now back to Empowering Women, Transforming Lives.
Welcome back, everyone. I hope that you had some great thoughts. If you took a moment to just see what your response was, how it felt to try on, wow, I don't have to do everything on my own. How great is that? That I can get support in moving forward in such powerful ways, and great tips on what to look for as you're leaning into the idea of, do I want a life coach in my life? How does that fit? How does that feel? Some great direction on that as well. So hope that you got some great value out of that, some good things to think about, awareness about some of those things that can stop us, and ways to perhaps navigate through or around to move forward. And one of the areas I find that we can bump up against or feel limited or feel stressed or tight or constricted around can be our finances. And wouldn't it be so powerful to be able to feel empowered in that way and abundant and free? And our next amazing guest is an expert in helping people do that in really powerful ways. Very excited to have her joining us. And one of the things I love about being able to connect live like this is we're connecting around the world in the same time and space. And we have listeners all over the world tuning in. We also have guests tuning in from different parts of the world. And Sam, I just thought it would be great if you don't mind sharing where you're connecting in from and what time of day it is. This will show how connected she is and committed to this cause.
That's it. I am very, very committed. Thank you, Rebecca, for having me on your show. I'm calling in today from Adelaide in South Australia, and it is currently 5:06 a.m. in the morning. So I am sat here in my bedroom, praising the Lord that there's no video going on here. But yeah, thank you for having me.
Absolutely. Thrilled to have you and being so present, even early in the morning like that. So I'm thrilled.
Thank you.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And let me share just a little bit about you so people know a little bit more of your formal background or professional background, as well as where you're calling in from. I love both. So Samantha Boardman, known as Sam, is originally from Stockport, England. She's the founder of Spending Made Easy, published author, regular contributor to the Podcast City radio station in Australia, and her organization, Spending Made Easy, takes the stress and worry out of finances and financing and budgets. She is passionate about empowering you with your finances. Please lean in. Warmly welcome the powerful, dynamic, and brilliant Samantha Boardman to the show. Welcome.
Thank you, Rebecca. What a lovely welcome. Thank you.
You are very, very welcome. And I wanted to start the conversation with why. Why is helping people in this area that can be something we can feel vulnerable in or struggle with, why is helping people in this way so important to you?
Yeah. It's so important to me because I found that in my, because I'm not, I'm not a youngster anymore. I'm not in my teens anymore. But I find that as I was growing up, I've always been good at budgeting. I was always very good at it. I've written a book about it. And I've realized that not everybody is good at it. And it's not taught in schools. If you dive deeper, it's not taught in schools. It's not natural to people. And I always liken doing a budget or a spending plan, as I do, to a Rubik's Cube. Some people can pick up a Rubik's Cube and go da 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 da, and all the colours are in the right side, they're in the right spot, and go easy. And some people just stare at it and go, I don't know where to start. And I absolutely love taking people's Rubik's Cubes and basically doing it for them. And they go, oh my God, how good is it when you see everything lined up and it's all great. So, and seeing the reason why I do it and the reason why I do it is because it changes lives. I've got so many good success stories of people who, and often it's the ones that don't think that they can be helped. They said, oh, I'd be the worst person that you've ever had, be your worst client. I'd be, you've never seen anything like me. And they're always the ones that I like to get my teeth into because they're the ones that write the success stories. They're the ones that want to do the film testimonials. So, yeah, I absolutely love it. I love helping people and I love sorting it out for them.
I love it. I can hear the smile and the enthusiasm in your voice.
Yes, I get that a lot. Thank you.
Absolutely. And how beautiful is that to have this be something you're so passionate about, helping line those things up for them. And I think sometimes it can feel so heavy and hard for people and they don't know where to start, like you mentioned with the Rubik's Cube example. I love that. And here you're taking it and helping them do it and doing it for them. And then they can breathe and the colors are lined up and take those next steps. So I think that's brilliant. Is there a favorite part of this? So you kind of identified your favorite client, your favorite success stories that you like, but is there a favorite part of the process that just makes your heart sing?
Yeah, the process is it's actually because I do believe I have OCD and I believe there's a place for everything. And I think that my favorite is there's nothing like more exciting than having everything sort of laid out in front of you and knowing that it's going to be okay. It's like, like when you declutter your wardrobe or you clean out your pantry and you get rid of stuff that is out of date and things. That's exactly like doing, your budget or your day-to-day finances. It's just an exciting time. And often when you get things aligned with your finances and then I have clients messaging me saying, I've got a spring in my step now. I never had a spring in my step. And then other things follow on. They go, I got a different job, or people are saying I'm in a better mood, so I got a promotion at work and I did this and that, and my friends think I'm, they're asking me what happened to me, and really it's all they did was organize their finances. So having everything structured and organized and laid out and good to go and knowing your financial future before you get there, which is what I do, just helps people in all other walks of life. Like it literally is like a domino effect. Like you've got your finances sorted and, we sleep better at night. We perhaps stop arguing with our partner over the finances, and it's just a peace of mind that when you go shopping, that you can afford what it is that you're looking at. Or if you see something sparkly that you want with a spending plan, you would know if you can afford it or not. And so many people, pre-spending plan or pre-organizing their budget, they're just spending and signing up to buy now, pay later scenarios when they really can't afford it. And then they fall into debt, and then they stress, and then they argue, and then marriages break up, and all sorts happen. So, my favorite part of the process is actually having it all laid out, like say the declutter, and then watching people's lives change because they've got their finances sorted out in the background.
Beautiful. I love that, because that can be an ongoing underlining stress or tightness or pressure that creates such havoc, and to just remove that and give people peace is a real gift. So I love how you've brought your number ability and ability to organize forward.
Yeah, I think that the one of the number one causes of divorce and separation in Australia is finances. I don't know if it's the same in America, but I'm sure that it could be, because people, it's the underlying, thing of all. Like, if we haven't got, our money or finances, like, how do you live?
Yeah. Absolutely. Oh, beautiful. So thank you for sharing. And I love how you're making the world a better place.
Thank you.
One financial organization after another. It's beautiful. Helping people in that way, in so many ways. And with all your experience, and you're just kind of reflecting on all the different people that you've had the opportunity to help and work with, is there a top tip that you can think of to help people as they're maybe even shying away from this conversation for a moment, or feeling a little overwhelmed thinking about budget and numbers and where to start? Just any tip you could give us to help us take a step forward.
Absolutely. My top tip, and this works, and people say, oh, it's, I don't know. So my top tip for organizing your finances is to always start with your outgoings. So many people, me included, years ago, when you're doing a budget or whatever, they start with their incoming. So they go, right, I get X amount each month, and then they allocate every cent of it, and then wonder why they, say, if I've got it, I spend it. Whereas if you actually start with your outgoings, forget what you actually earn for a second, just start with your outgoings, and we do the wants and needs. So, you don't need a pair of shoes in every color, but you do need a roof over your head, you need clean running water, and you need food on the table. So if you start with that and you go, right, how much is my rent or my mortgage, or, and how much is my food bill, how much is my water, and then start going forwards. And then you find that a lot of time, and then you add in all your other expenses before you look at your income, you find that your income, when you actually have worked out all of your expenses, when you add in your income, it's often more than your expenses. Whereas if you start with your income, you tend to accommodate it all immediately. Like it's something in your head that makes you think, right, I've got to spend every cent. Where if you forget your income for now, and it's, we pay things differently. There's frequencies that we pay for things weekly, fortnightly, monthly, annually. So if you, with a spending plan that I do, it doesn't actually matter when with those frequencies, because it caters for it all, and it will always tell you how much money to have in your bank account. So it really is an awesome tool.
Beautiful. Thank you for sharing that. And I think that's really great, because the other thing I was thinking as you're sharing that, we may think the money's flowing a certain way. And be surprised at how much is flowing out in certain areas.
It surprises everyone. And people say, oh, I've got, one of the things I hear a lot of is, I live beyond my means. I've got more going out than coming in. And when they do my process, the bit that I love, my Rubik's Cube, I prove to them that they've not. And one of my favorite success stories is one of my clients actually had over 1,000 Australian dollars a month once she'd done my process. And she had over $1,000 a month surplus. That was over $12,000 a year. And she was saying, where is it going? And she was arguing with her partner. They were going to break up. They were like literally at their wits' end. And then all of a sudden, after my process, she started saving $1,000 a month. So
I love it.
It works. It absolutely works. Yeah.
Oh, so powerful. Thank you for sharing. I appreciate that. And I hope that actually is encouraging for people that, wow, maybe looking closely, you'll discover you have more than you thought, or it could be harnessed in a different way. You know, it's I was a financial advisor for a lot of years, and one thing I noticed when people would actually be willing to go in deeper and look, it was almost always not as bad as they thought.
Correct.
And they become more empowered. So it's neat to hear that that's been some of your experience as well.
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
What a powerful transformation that's been created in everyone's life. Yeah. I love it. I love it. Well, we are getting close to time here, and I wanted to see if you had a final thought or tip that you wanted to share with our listeners.
A final thought. The jokey one is, or just don't spend more than you've got. But yeah, just if you can't, if you're not monitoring it, then you can't improve it. And also, one of my catchphrase is, it's not about the income, it's about the outcome. Because as we know, you only have to turn on the TV. You can get rich on a low income, but you can certainly go broke on a high income. So yeah, it's not about what you've got, it's what you do with it.
Oh, beautiful. I love that. What a great way to move to our next commercial break. It's so perfect. Thank you. I so appreciate you sharing.
Thanks, Rebecca.
Absolutely. And listeners, as we go to our next commercial break, I hope you've gotten a lot of food for thought. And I love this, that it's about outcome and really looking at what are you doing with what you have. And if you're not quite sure, I hope that you're encouraged to take a closer look and a reminder that you don't have to do that on your own, but how it can actually be empowering to know more and to look. And I love her tip about looking at what is actually happening with the spending and what your needs are versus the income first. What a powerful tip. So as we go to our next commercial break, I want to invite you to reflect on some of these things and start to see, wow, maybe I can take a closer look here. And that could feel really good to have it lined up like a Rubik's Cube that's been solved. How powerful that would be. When we come back, we're going to give some final tips and make sure you have the contact information for all of our amazing guests today. So enjoy these 2 minutes, and we'll look forward to talking to you in just a moment.
Voice America is on your favorite smart speaker. If you have Alexa or Google Home, go ahead and give us a try.
Hey Alexa, play Finding Your Frequency podcast on TuneIn.
Announcing a powerful new TV channel featuring programs designed to enhance and transform your life. Make powerful connections, one program at a time. And by doing so, we can bring transformation to the world. Tune in each week to Empowered Connections TV as we add new programs to help you make empowered connections of your own. Visit empoweredconnectionstv.com. That's empoweredconnectionstv.com. And make the most of an incredible life transformation.
Rebecca Hall Gruyter's Speaker Talent Search is looking for speakers wanting to get on more stages. With just one audition, you could open the doors to hundreds of speaking opportunities, reach more people, and expand your impact. Finalists get to audition live in front of leaders looking to fill all kinds of speaking opportunities. Apply now at speakertalentsearch.com. That's speakertalentsearch.com. We look forward to hearing your message.
You're listening to Empowering Women, Transforming Lives with your host, Rebecca Hall Gruyter. If you have a question or comment for Rebecca or her guest, we'd love to hear from you. Please call into the program at 1-888-346-9141. That's 1-888-346-9141. You may also send an email to Rebecca at yourpurposedrivenpractice.com. Now back to Empowering Women, Transforming Lives.
Welcome back, everyone. I hope you enjoyed those 2 minutes and you've given yourself an opportunity to reflect on the conversation and perhaps looking at budgeting and financing a little bit differently, how it can actually be empowering and supportive of you. I want to invite you to take a look back at the beginning of our conversation when we took a moment to pause, check in, and see what we needed today, what would encourage us, what would support us. I encourage you to reflect back on our conversation to see what has helped shift that forward in a positive way for you. Take a moment to breathe that in. And I always invite you to be in action, be in motion. So as you find those things that spark or you want to go deeper in, do that. Take a moment, take 2 minutes to do that, even if it's 2 minutes at a time, a minute at a time. Baby steps count. The minutes, how we choose to spend them, matters. So harness that for good. Harness that in a way that can support you. So here's my extra credit bonus tip and challenge. Gold stars, if you like gold stars. I like gold stars. So your gold star opportunity is to take 2 minutes to 5 minutes at the end of the show for you. Instead of rushing back into the day, take a moment to pause, breathe, and do something. Take an action to support you on your journey. Breathe, integrate what serves, and harness the time right now that you have and choose how you step back into the day, who you are as you're stepping back into the day. The day is not in charge. You get to choose. So take that time for you. That's my tip. Extra credit bonus opportunity for you. Beautiful. With that, we're going to go around our room and have each of our experts share their contact information. And I'll make sure to share mine as well. So I'll start. You can learn more about us, connect in. If you want to have a conversation, explore things together, you can reach me at yourpurposedrivenpractice.com. yourpurposedrivenpractice.com. You'll find all kinds of resources, information, and ways that we can encourage you on your journey. So I invite you to check it out. With that, Sam, I'd love for you to share your contact information, a final tip to encourage us on our journey, and we're waiting with pens to write down your information.
Oh, that's lovely. Thanks, Rebecca. So my website is spendingmadeeasy.com.au. So that's spendingmadeeasy.com.au. And on there's request a callback. My email address is hello@spendingmadeeasy.com.au. So that's hello@spendingmadeeasy.com.au. But yeah, my website, I'm on Facebook. I can, there's Messenger on Facebook. But yeah, my website is probably a good one because there is a callback. There's, you can schedule in a time for a 30-minute free, no obligation chat. And yeah, my top, another tip that I will leave you with is don't be shy. There is no shame in asking for help about your finances. It's not taught in schools. It's not natural to everybody. And Spending Made Easy is a safe place for anybody. And it does work in any currency. I know we discussed earlier, you're in America, I'm in Australia. It really does work in any currency. And I'd love to hear from anybody who thinks they might need help or are shy. And, there's no judgments. There's nothing. So, yeah, reach out is my top tip.
Beautiful. Thank you, Sam. I appreciate it.
Thanks, Rebecca.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Mary, I'd love for you to share your top tip and the best way that we can connect in with you.
Yes. Thank you so much for this time. I think my top tip that I would like to leave with everybody, my suggestion for anybody beginning a dream or struggling with the first step, or maybe they're in the eye of the storm or discovering, get quiet. And I think this is so important. And Rebecca has said that you've said this so many times, but there is such value. Find a space, get quiet, and get still. And no matter where you're coming from, whether you believe in God, maybe even ask him, are you real? Get quiet and ask, who am I really? What is my identity? And don't rush it. We're always in a rush to hurry up and get nowhere. But just start there. And
Beautiful.
The caveat to that is that you will never, ever, God will never make you feel worthless or feel condemned. He will always show you truth, and you'll know the difference. Unpacking an identity is a great place to start shaping the dream and moving forward. And I just want to remind anyone who's listening, for that one person, you have many gifts. They're natural and they're supernatural, and you have the tools. But if you don't know how to use them, or maybe you don't even know which ones to use when, where, or how, that can be frustrating and feel overwhelming. And sometimes that's where a good coach is a great option to step in and partner with you to get more clarity around that and all the other goodies that are down the road. And as you say, Rebecca, you are on purpose. And I second that. You are on purpose for a purpose. So Beautiful. I will leave that tip in your viewers' hands. And my contact information is info@compasscoaching.com. That's my direct email. And note, coaching is spelled with a K. And my web address is compasscoaching.com. So it's Compass and then KOACHING. And you can also book a discovery call on there. It's absolutely free on my website. I'm on LinkedIn. I'm on Facebook. If you prefer to talk by phone, you can email me and I'll send you my phone number and we can have a live chat as well, if that's easier for you.
Beautiful. Thank you so much, Mary. I appreciate your tip and all of your ways that we can connect in and go deeper. I appreciate the generosity of both of you offering that discovery session for people to get clarity, to talk, to explore what those next steps might be. So thank you both so much. I appreciate it. Listeners, thank you for leaning in and joining us today. I hope that you have gotten some great tips, advice, and perhaps some new perspectives on things that can support and empower you on your journey. Because you are a gift, absolutely needed in this world. There's no one else just like you. The biggest gift you can give is more of you. So be willing to go and be still, to plant your roots deeply, and to choose to bloom where you are planted and shine. Have a great week, everyone, and we'll look forward to talking to you next time.
Thank you for joining us this week for Empowering Women, Transforming Lives. Please tune in again for another edition with your host, Rebecca Hall-Gruyter, next Thursday at 1 p.m. Eastern Time, 10 a.m. Pacific, on the Voice America Empowerment Channel, with a replay on Sunday at 4 p.m. Eastern and 1 p.m. Pacific on the Voice America Variety Channel. Have a beautiful week, and may you always bloom where you're planted and shine.